Hey, did you ever pay a visit to your old neighborhood after so many years? And when you left, you not only took the old memories, you also took something home in your pocket. Something about as big as a Ferris wheel. Sound uncanny? You stick around. It gets even more uncannier. Hey, how we doing here? Tell me something. I have what I call a semi-personal question for you. How many of you have ever taken a little trip, a ride out to a place where you were brought up? Neighborhood? Any of you? Well, I mean, if you lived close enough, of course. I mean, I have. Where I was, one of the places where I was brought up, it was only like 30 minutes away. But strange, I hadn't been there in a long time. In fact, it was a neighborhood that I hadn't been in over 50 years. But one afternoon, everything that needed to be done around my place was done. The chores were done, and I had some good time to just chill and relax. It was a considerably nice day out, too. And I just thought, what the heck? 30 minutes away, hadn't seen it in so long. Let's take a trip. So I did. I got there, like I said, just about 30 or 40 minutes, and looking down the street with a rotary dead end to it, I looked at all the houses and everything about and was amazed by how similar it all was, not by the differences. I mean, we had aluminum siding back then, so the color of the houses hadn't changed at all, nor the shape of the streets. And that really brought me back. It was just this magical feeling. Parked my car and got out and just started walking up the street. One of the first things I did, of course, was to take a look at the mailboxes to see if I would recognize any names that I had forgotten, and all of a sudden come to mind, oh, this I remember. No luck with that. But I do remember looking in the yards and remembering one or two of them that I played in there quite often, with friends. I remember just seeing myself, it was like reliving the role. Just at the age of 5, we played tag, and we play hide and seek, and even charades. Not being a busy street, the older kids would be playing street hockey. It was amazing just on how to relive that. Continuing up the street, of course, I came across a house that I was living at when I was only 5. And it looked the same green color, same driveway, and the steps, the stone mortar steps that my father had built himself. However, when you looked in front of it, it looked the same. When you looked at the side of it from the street, there was an addition that was practically the size of the house itself. So in front was a house, to the side, an absolute mansion. Not only that, there was also this charming gazebo in the yard as well. But that wasn't that wasn't what gripped me. What gripped me was seeing a guy in the yard raking the lawn. And that just put a big question in my head that I think a lot of us would ask ourselves. Yes, here's another semi-personal question. Would you have ever have approached somebody who you presumed had lived in a house that you haven't seen in so many years and lived in when you were a little girl or a boy and ask for a tour? Hmm? It crossed my mind, but I wouldn't dare. I didn't even have enough nerve to just even approach the gentleman to say hello, let alone get into a small talk conversation to say, oh, yeah, nice weather we're having. Let me in that house. No, didn't happen. I just continued up the street, had taken in the memories that I had all come uh, to me at that time. But what really got me focused in mind was why this neighborhood in particular. I mean, I lived in at least 6 different neighborhoods before I was at the age of 17. Why this one? I lived here from just about the age of 4 to 6. And then it came, and then it dawned on me. And though I was at a very young age, I do remember it was a time where our family would have weekly activities together, whether it be ice skating, bowling, going to a restaurant, out for ice cream. And in the evening times, we'd even have prayer. In fact, I even remember these rosary beads my mother had had, and I believe they were made of cedar. They always smelled like bacon. Unusual, but you don't forget those things. Anyway, getting back to our family activities, one I remember in particular, of course, is when we'd go out for ice cream, is because we'd go to a variety of places. I mean, they had the Dairy Queen, Tasty Freeze, and I believe there was one, the name of Frisbees, that was in our area. And I don't know whether it would be Frisbees, Dairy Queen, Tasty Freeze, or whatnot, but it had the most unusual form of recreation in the parking lot. Of course, just like any other ice cream place, it had its what was going on then, as to where that you ordered from the outside and you ate it outside. And of course, the wonderful colors of all the different types of ice cream that you'd view. It was like eye candy. And plus, let's not forget those wonderful ultraviolet lights that were out there. Dangerous as they were fun to watch. Seeing the mosquitoes getting zapped. For any of us sadistic kids. But getting back, the wonderful attraction, or what really gripped me, was on the right side in the parking lot of this certain ice cream place was this huge, this colossal, rusty, defunct Ferris wheel. Can you believe it? I mean, it was so rusty you could just literally walk right up to it and go, boom, and the whole thing would collapse right on you. It was presumably used during this, I'd probably think, the 20s, 30s, and mid-40s. But you know something? Even at the age of 5, I had enough romantic even in my system there to think it as to how charming it must have been for 2 sweethearts enjoying an ice cream cone in each other's arms at the very top of the Ferris wheel. That I do remember. And with all that sinking in my head brought me to a new fixation. Because when I left my old neighborhood that day, that was, oh, that's fun. I had my fun. Okay, I had my thrill. It's done. And again, I had to find out, though, where this Ferris wheel was. What town, what location, what was the name of the ice cream place? Was it Frisbee's? I don't know. But I had to find out. So, first thing you do, of course, is me being the youngest in the family. Maybe ask your brothers and your sisters. They had no idea. And after that, a few friends, no, they never even heard of a Frisbee's before. Oh, it didn't stop there. I even went to the social media, Facebook and so forth, Does anybody know? I'm typing that in. Does anybody know of a restaurant that used to have a rusty Ferris wheel beside it? All right, I think they all thought I was nuts. And again, another group of people who didn't even know the name Frisbees. So, finally, I was at the end of my rope, and what did I do? I cut it. Forget it. Childhood memory. Maybe it was just something imaginary I made up. It happens with kids, right? I hope so. But then, soon enough, a few months afterwards, I was on my morning routine, heading to work. And I usually stopped off at a convenience store to get myself a coffee before I'd head right to work. Now, at the entrance of this convenience store, there's always a gentleman there, and he'd greet me. I don't remember his name, but he knew my name was on my uniform, and he'd go, "Hey, Sterling, how you doing?" And I'd go, "Oh, thanks a lot. Good morning." And then there was the one morning, though, that I went there, and I had some time to kill. I took off a little bit early. And when I got my coffee, it was at least 15, 20 minutes on my hands. And I was very grateful to this gentleman who presumably lived down the street in one of the assisted living homes. I don't know. But I bought him a coffee. I asked him, "Would you like coffee?" He said, "Sure." And I even started to chat with him. Of course, we small talk here and there, sports, little politics, so forth. And then we started talking, getting a little nostalgic, that is to say. We started talking about things that are, "Oh, isn't it too bad this isn't around?" And then he just said "Oh, yes, and I remember Frisbees had that old rusty Ferris wheel." That gripped me. Oh, my God. What did you say? Out of joy, I wanted to grab him saying, "Yeah, Frisbees, right, yes, I'm not nuts, right?" And it was clearer to him than it even was to me, because where he said where it was located was just, listen to this, 5 minutes from where I live now. 2 streets, and it's a little plaza, pizza place there and so forth, but that's where Frisbees was, with that huge rusty Ferris wheel. And it just amazing that as to where that a mystery had to be unsolved right underneath our nose and at the most random moment. Of course, I didn't get this gentleman any coffee the next day. That was just for that day, Oh, the next day I went and I got him a large coffee. I got him some hash browns. I got him an Egg McMuffin. And I even got him a slice of pizza. I couldn't have been more grateful, more appreciative. I know. I could go rambling on to this for the longest time. But this rambling on, it not only makes me thirsty, it gets me with a new fixation other than a Ferris wheel. That's right. Ice cream. Sound good? Well, I happen to know of a place, and I am so in the mood for a nice three stack of mint chocolate chip. 3 scoops, that is. Sound good to you? Oh, that's flavor you like. Well, we got a few around our area. How about you come on with me? Who knows? We might even find ourselves a Ferris wheel in the parking lot. Well, hey, let's get a move on now, though, before the ice cream melts and the Ferris wheel gets rusty.